What's going on, my people? What's going on? Hello, hello, hello. All right, we're in here, going live on this Friday, and as you can see, I am hosting a live insurance Q&A call. I'm doing this to. I know a few days ago I put up a few posts up in my communities, in my groups about what is the biggest struggle you find yourself having when it comes into the insurance world, when it comes to accepting financing for your clients. And there was just a series of different struggles that were actually given back to me. So I just want to take this time to go live and answer those questions and acknowledge those things. But before I get started, I want to introduce myself. I am your girl, your lucrative insurance strategist, Amber McCray. I am the founder of Seamless Academy, and I help beauty professionals learn how to maximize their profits in the hair loss industry. And I do this by adding different uh, uh, giving the blueprint for you to be able to accept financial avenues for your clients who are dealing with hair loss. Those could be things such as insurance, government contracting, FSA and HSA accounts, you name it, we working with it. Working with nonprofit organizations, and just getting yourself out there so you can be and acknowledged as and operate as a medical hair loss facility. Okay, so that's just a little quick synopsis about me. So what I do is a lot of times I like to get on live and just get some things out there that get some topics out there, because what I notice is a lot of beauty professionals we're leaving coins on the table, guys. We have clients that we're dealing with hair loss, and sometimes we're either lowballing ourselves, or we're just not aware about the different things that people can do to actually get help with their hair loss services costs. Okay. And a lot of times I tell you guys, don't lead necessarily with that, because at the end of the day, we already know we are skilled and have been trained to give the service that our clients need. But because a lot of us, we're in this industry because we really love what we do. We know that it's hard to transition from many of us who have been doing weaves or crochets or braids or different cover up methods to transition to doing trichology and non-surgical hair placement. And that's what made me create a system to help my clients be able to offset those cost differences, because it is a different cost barrier from going from regular services that they could have when they had their full head of hair to hair loss services. And the way we could do that is getting ourselves in a position as beauty professionals and licensed cosmetologists, licensed barbers, even if you're wig makers. We want to make sure we put ourselves in appropriate categories so we can help our clients be able to offset those costs and let them know what's available. So I like to get on and do these lives so we could talk about those things and have those discussions. So like I said, I'm on here today because I did put out a few polls in my groups. I put a few questions out on my page. And one of my questions were, what is the biggest fear about accepting insurance? Like, what is truly that fear? If you're one of those beauty professionals who are not accepting insurance, what is stopping you? What is going on there? And if any of you guys have any fears, I want you to put that down in the chat. You can put it down in the comments now. What is one of the biggest fears of you actually accepting insurance or any other medical financing opportunities in your facility? Some of the ladies may have some of the same things that you all are speaking of, so I'm going to go over those. So a few of them out of the poll told me that it's just too complicated. Okay, we like to do hair. That's what we do. We do hair. Okay, we went to cosmetology school. We did our 1,500 hours. We did our 3,000 hours. So depending on what state you're in, you probably had to do more than that. But at the end of the day, we know how to do the hair. A lot of us get very intimidated when it comes down to the business component. And when you go to cosmetology school, I remember out of all of those hours and all of those hands-on training, we only spent like one chapter on building a business. I remember we had to do like a dream in my class. We did like a dream board that we put together what our ultimate salon idea would be and how would we go about getting funding for that. And, I mean, it was cute. Researched what he had to do to research and figure out what we would do these things and how we could actually access that. But I realized once I got into the industry, there are so many different avenues that I just didn't even know was available, or there's different licensings that I just didn't know how to even go about getting. I like to get a building, guys. You got to have a license to be able to get a business license. So if you're a stylist, and I just tuned into a podcast the other night about licensed versus unlicensed. If you're a hairstylist or a barber, and you have those who may be unlicensed, one thing that they can't do when you're not licensed, and we all were unlicensed before we became licensed. I didn't realize we couldn't have got a building even if I wanted to. Okay, so when I became licensed, of course, I qualified to be able to get a business license in my specialty. And there's just certain proofs we have to show to do that. And one of those proofs are a license. When you get on insurance companies, what helped me get into that was, okay, I got these clients who are needing some help with their hair loss. And a lot of people are hollering about insurance can cover those hair loss services. But to get on with some insurance companies, you have to have a license. So you guys already have done pretty much the big work. Many of you guys already have a license. Many of you guys already have the certificate of completion in a field of hair loss. So you're already a non-surgical hair placement specialist. You're already a hair loss practitioner. You're already a trichologist. And if that's something that you're trying to get into, you're talking to your girl who can lead you to that direction. But those requirements are all we need, plus or minus a few business components that we should have just because we run a business that is going to help us be able to get into this insurance company realm. So even though it seems like it's complicated, what makes it seem complicated is because we're looking at doctors, we're looking at other medical professionals, behavioral health specialists, dentists, that they do require way more paperwork to get into insurance company networks. But for us, we only have to have the things we already have and add an NPI number. Okay. And of course, there's things that come along with it, like doing the insurance company application. But, we have people that help you with that. Okay. That's the hardest part, doing the application. But our application is pretty simple because we have to just know what our specialty is. And for us guys, I teach you guys, hello. For us guys, I teach us how to be able to get in as a durable medical equipment supplier. So the requirements to be a durable medical equipment supplier is, and you're credentialing a facility, which is way less headache and way less paperwork than a typical hospital. Okay, we only have one code that we deal with, and of course the diagnoses are still going to come from the doctor. So when the concern on the poll was about it being too complicated, we don't have to make it complicated. We just kind of have to figure out our path to do that. And one way to figure out that path, guys, is you gotta. I'm not saying you gotta go back to school, but you do need to get some type of training to help guide you into that. Because in cosmetology school, we did not learn how to do this stuff. We learned how to do cosmetology services and barbering services. All right. So another thing I saw in the poll, somebody mentioned that they think their services do not qualify. That's a big one. Okay, we're doing hair loss services. We don't think that our hair, we don't. Some of us just don't know how to change the pricing on our. We don't know how to change that pricing, or we're nervous to change that pricing. We're just nervous to share the price that we even offer. Okay, so for me, I was doing, just on some transparency, a, I was doing, like I say, crochets, braids, trying to cover up my clients' hair loss concerns. Okay, at the time, that was, quite some time back, well before the pandemic. Well before the pandemic. So prices were things like, I might could do braid up, do maybe 65, crochet, about $100, probably 80, just depending on what the mood was or what area I was working in. Okay. And now I'm going to this non-surgical hair placement class, and I'm the cheapest unit that they ordered for somebody was, matter of fact, I ain't gonna say it was the cheapest, but the transactions I saw when I was in the class was the whole unit was $1,800. The deposit was $900 something dollars. And I was like, oh goodness, how am I gonna go home to Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, and tell my clients who I've been charging $65 to $100 that our services are now, some of the units that I know they need for their hair is now $1,800. Okay, how many people have been in that predicament? And if you guys are tapping in on a replay, make sure you put hashtag replay, but put hashtag replay and let me know that you tuned in. And but yes, how many of you guys on here are actual hair loss specialists and have been in that predicament where you're not sure how you're going to transition your services, or don't feel like your services are qualified enough to be able to charge that? And one thing I had to kind of just deal with myself, to be honest, to be fully transparent, it took me 6 months before I actually did my first service after getting that certification, because I was nervous that people not going to feel me on this, right? So what I did is, okay, to get my confidence up, let me get somebody that I already know. Matter of fact, let me get the person that I ultimately went to get this certification for, because of the I watched their hair loss progress because of the type of hair loss condition they had, and I wasn't trained to be able to prevent it to the extent I know now. And I just use that opportunity to say like, hey, can I have this service that I know will be great for you. You're a perfect candidate for it. And I actually believe that we can get it covered with your insurance. And that's how I started, guys. I ran down that rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to get insurance to cover my clients' non-surgical hair replacement service. And we got that first check. And honestly, once they felt what the quality was, they never went back to wanting crochets or braids or quick weaves. Okay. And I really kind of had to stand on it too, that I'm not trying to add to the issue. And so it's a transition. I slowly but surely transitioned everyone into those services, versus doing things that I just knew, one, was not as cost effective for me. Two, was not helping the client's hair improve. I was actually adding to the situation in most cases, the hair loss situation in most cases. And three, just really making it up in my mind that I want to be a hair loss specialist, that I think I want you to see me and think hair loss specialist. So guys, there were years of transitions, guys. And so don't feel discouraged when you're like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm not sure if this is really working for me. Okay. So, or I'm scared that I'm gonna do this. I'm sitting on a certificate and I don't feel like my services are qualified. But I'm telling you, believe in yourself. Now with inflation and after COVID, people kind of started stepping with their prices anyway. But there are still things in place beyond insurance for your clients who can't get covered insurance, that can help your clients truly be able to do those services and afford the services that you're now offering. So yes, you are qualified to do those services. But that was a really interesting one that I saw on the poll. I didn't expect that one to be a major concern, but it was. Okay. The other thing that I saw on the poll, they just weren't sure where to start. Also had somebody that I had a few messages that said it as well. Like, I'm not sure where to start. I'm not even sure what the process would be. So when it comes to getting into starting to accept insurance or other financing opportunities, which, like I said, you could get with Care Credit, Cherry, you can get with financing companies. You can accept insurance. You can get on with government agencies like the VA, the Veteran Affairs Hospitals. And you can also accept HSA and FSA accounts. The biggest thing, guys, is just knowing what are the qualifications to be a merchant with each of these individuals. So if I say I'm about to get on with insurance companies, I'm going to call an insurance company that I'm trying to get with and figure out the credentialing process. And like I was mentioning earlier, the credentialing process is just bad. Making sure they tell you what they need from you as a provider. And like I say, guys, I teach you guys how to be a durable medical equipment provider. You make sure you have those things and you fill out the application. If you're trying to get on with these financing companies, I even have we even work with certain banks that if you can't get on with the Care Credit or Cherries or the other companies out there, we have other banks that actually will allow you to offer financing through their banks. Okay, popular banks like Wells Fargo, people can have a medical card through these banks, but you just fill out the application, make sure you have the requirements that you need to be able to be a merchant with them, and now you're in the game to be able to accept payments, medical payments. If you're trying to get on with the Veteran Affairs Hospital, we get listed as a vendor with them. Okay. When you talk with the appropriate department for that, you're seeing what you need to do to get credentials so you can do that and be a listed provider. not a listed provider, a listed vendor. But their steps is not the same as Blue Cross Blue Shield. And Blue Cross Blue Shield's application is not the same as TRICARE's application. So you have to just take those administrative days, take that time to do one company at a time. And before you know it, you're listed with a whole bunch of companies because you took the time to figure out which company requires what. All right. And then another thing that I noticed when I put out on my post and my polls, somebody just was like that. Well, I think that covered the process thing, but when it comes to just the overall insurance process, when you're working with your clients first come to you for the service. Okay, when they come to you for the service, ideally you're able to see what it is that they need financially. You know what quote you need for them to get a cranial prosthesis, or if you're in the trichology services, you know what your package looks like. All right. Getting this information, you will take it to, you'll actually have a number, a price, a cost, and you know when you're checking the insurance company, if the insurance company, you want to check the eligibility with the insurance company. All right, so every client who has an insurance plan, they actually need to call their insurance companies and check out what their eligibility is for our procedure code, which our procedure code, guys, is A as in Alpha 9282. When we actually check for the coverage eligibility for that client, meaning, hey, do I have coverage for this service? Will insurance cover my service? You'll know from your price and the insurance price, okay, I'm good. This is this is the amount. Or let's say the insurance price might only cover half of your price. So my price might be $1,000. Insurance only covers 500 once a year. So you know how to kind of maneuver, and you know what budget the client is working with, and the client will be responsible for the remainder amount. So after you figure that out, if you're a person who's like, you know what, I'm really not into the medical billing, I am just going to let the client get reimbursement. You do the steps to help them get reimbursement, and they actually get their money back from the insurance company. If you're a person that's like, no, I want to learn how to do the claims because I want the check to come directly to me. I wanted my name on that check. I want to make sure that I can go for the max. Then that'll be when you actually go into the billing process. So you would submit a claim, whether that's electronically or if you fill out a paper claim and mail it in. I prefer electronically. I teach for electronically. But if you do those options, you know that claim has to be approved by the insurance company. Well, your request has to be, um, you submit the claim has to be approved by the insurance company, and then they will send you back, you know, an invoice saying yay or nay. Like, yes, this is the amount we're going to cover. No, this is not the amount we're going to cover because this person's deductible wasn't met. Okay. And after they send you, letting you know what they're going to do, then they send you a check. And that's the process. I know I'm making it sound very summarized, but that is overall, that's the summarized process. The only thing that makes it a little different, guys, is if there's any type of complications with the person's policy. But we try to make sure that each client has their own proof submitted. So by the time we start submitting the claim, we know this client has a prescription. We know this client has a diagnosis of alopecia, a diagnosis for alopecia, whatever alopecia they have, which is any type of hair loss. And we also know on our end, we have the price of what their service is going to be. So we can put all this information on the claim and get it submitted. So that is the overall process when it comes to it. But for you guys who really, really, really want to get in depth about this information, I do offer a free insurance integration webinar where we just go a little bit more in depth with what these processes look like, what are those actual credentialing components that people are looking to needing for insurance companies. And I'm telling you guys, y'all see that list, you're like, there's no way all this fits on one slide, and the words aren't small. It's all about us just reposition ourselves. We are we are licensed professional guys that really bring so much value to our clients in their self-esteem, especially when they're going through hair loss. We bring confidence to their self-esteem when they have all their hair. So imagine the confidence you're bringing to your clients when they're losing their hair and you still making them feel like they have hair, and you're making sure they feel confident walking out of your door. So we have a big job to fulfill, guys, and we don't want to just leave anything on the table to make sure that they don't have all the access to the resources they need. And sometimes, guys, people don't have insurance set up for that. And sometimes people aren't a veteran and can't go to the VA. And some people don't have an HSA account. But just being able to put your services in a packaged situation, to be able to put your services in a packaged, just a minute, guys, in a packaged situation. Just a minute. Hey, how you doing?
I'm Thomas's mom.
Yes, how you doing?
And did you find some medicine in your mailbox?
I hadn't looked in there. If you
Hadn't been in there?
no, I hadn't seen not this week. I hadn't seen it this week.
It's my husband, our cousin is a pharmacist,
Okay.
and he drops it off in either
Oh,
your
okay,
mailbox
yeah.
and the medicine is not there.
It's not there. No, it isn't. I know they gave me some packages that came right to the door, but I'll definitely be able to look at it. It already has been delivered.
Yeah, Tuesday. But I don't know. It's his Parkinson's medicine. I'm like,
Oh, he need that. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'll do that. I didn't see it. I just saw one envelope. I'm just now starting to get the mail here. Right? That's all.
well, I'm Angela.
This is Angela Amber.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you,
you.
Miss Angela. All right. Sorry, guys. Somebody came to my door. But yes, so like I said, guys, for those who do not have that type of coverage, you just want to make sure that you look out for those individuals by packaging your services in a way that's affordable and be able to make payment plans and just be able to present. There's different softwares that can assist you with that and make pricing quite easy. You'll be very surprised. So I know I got a few chats in there. Okay. So yeah, so we want to make sure that you guys are equipped with that. So if you are interested in joining our free insurance integration webinar, and I say insurance, but believe me, guys, it engulfs all of the financial things that we would use in our industry that we're just not taking advantage of, or maybe just not even sure of. And our clients just will love you for that if you have these options available for them. So type write it down in the chat or click the link in my bio. We have our next one coming up on April 28th. Make sure I got that right. Our next webinar will be on April 28th, a Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this will allow you guys to come on again, hear just a little bit more, way more in-depth details. I actually do a PowerPoint presentation to really teach you guys what all this, what all this, what all this actually entails for you guys and what all is available for your clients' services. Because like I said, as a license, us having a license, I know a lot of times we hear that we're getting deregulated. But guys, if we take advantage of our license and really put ourselves out there in a professional way that a lot of people don't even know we do. Even when I talk to doctors, they was like, I didn't even know that stylists could do this, or I didn't even know non-surgical hair placement existed. They hear that wigs can be covered, but they're sending people to a wig store and not somebody who can actually create them a medical cap that's customized to their head and nobody else can wear it. Or burn victims or cancer patients. Don't want those. They want something that makes them feel like themselves, and not something that was just like, this is a mass fit for everybody. Nothing personalized, nothing customized. And we are able to do that. So we have to educate other industries of what we can do. And the only way we can do that is put out what we actually offer and help our clients get it out there to them, because they put it out there even more. Once you help one client, you already know they're going to go tell all of their doctors, all of their dermatologists, all of their supporting organizations. Hey, I go to my trichologist or I go to my non-surgical hair placement specialist. You got to hear how my clients sell me. And it puts me out with, it's like a walking billboards across the whole city. So I want you guys to be able to do that. So join our free insurance integration webinar. All you got to do is type ready down in the chat or click the link in my bio, and we will get that to you, get you guys signed up to be a part of our